Welcome to Community Update, where we highlight the people and initiatives shaping our communities here in Nova Scotia and beyond. Today we're talking about youth, leadership, and civic engagement. A new initiative called Black Civic Voices is aiming to empower the next generation, and we're going to learn exactly what that means. Joining me are the organizers behind this project. Ladies, thank you so much for being at the studio today.
Thank you.
So let's start with introductions. Tell us who you are.
My name is Talent Ndlovu. I am a policy analyst by profession, but I'm also here as the chair of the board of directors for Leading Leaders Society of Nova Scotia.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And you, ma'am?
My name is Olayinka Olaolopin. I'm the secretary of the board of Leading Leaders Association of Nova Scotia. I'm a registered nurse by profession.
Thank you for being here. Okay, so we've heard leading leaders twice in your introductions. Do you want to give us some background on leading leaders? I know that there have been a couple of initiatives in the community that have impacted young people. Give us some background, please.
Leading Leaders is all about empowering the next generation. We plan to empower like 1,000 youths, just, building them up and preparing them for leadership in the future, letting them know that there is no height they cannot attain, wherever they are in the world, especially in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Right.
That there's no leadership position that is not attainable for them. That's the major thing we're out to do.
And is this an initiative for all youth of Nova Scotia? Is there a target audience, a target people group?
It's all youth.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's open to all youth. So Leading Leaders has birthed the Black Civic Voices. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. What is it in particular? What inspired this initiative?
So what actually inspired this initiative is that, number one, the first thing is, this is for, the Black communities, the youth in the Black communities.
Right. So hence the name. Okay.
Whether indigenous, whether, person of color from other countries, immigrants, as long as they are Black, this initiative is for them. That's
Right.
the first thing. So one of the major things actually, made us to think about this is because we noticed that there have been, wrong narratives that have been sold to our youth. Yes, things have happened in the past, but as humans, we need to move. Yes, our past is important. We cannot throw it away, but we need to move past it.
Right.
We need to look at, what is happening now and how can our youths, aspire and become leaders
Right.
in, wherever they are, especially in Nova Scotia and in Canada. We don't want them, want to remove, want to help them to change, the mindset, the limiting mindsets that they have, or that the stories that they've had as, imbibing to them. We want to remove those limiting mindsets. That's the major thing that the Black Voices is all about.
So why in particular would you say that the focus, what is it that has made the focus come specifically on African Nova Scotians and Black youth at this time?
I'm just going to backtrack first.
Okay.
To kind of get into the why Black Civic Voices.
Yes.
So in itself, it's meant to be a leadership, civic literacy initiative that focuses on Black youth between the ages of 10 to 17. So as she has explained, any young person who identifies as an African Nova Scotian, person of African descent, or
Right.
just as Black would qualify for this initiative, realizing that Black voices, whether young or old, are usually not included in many tables.
Yeah,
not
that's
represented in many areas of life. So we want to instill a sense of confidence to young people, just to show them that once you are empowered and know how to engage in civic life, then you can turn around whatever perceptions you have about yourself or perceptions that other people have about you as well.
Right. So the goal then is to increase the representation at the table.
Yes,
For
and the confidence,
and the
because
confidence.
sometimes you're shy to go, is there really a place for me at that table. But once they have the confidence and knowledge to say, I have and I deserve to be at the table, then they can put themselves forward. Whether it's with, it's in a political cycle, or whether
Right.
it's education, or it's a community leadership, or just being engaged in general with your community, your leadership. This is just like a foundation to set them up for success in the future.
Okay. So this is preparing the youth to
Yes.
take a seat
Yes,
at the table.
yes, for sure.
When we say civic literacy and youth leadership, you gave us an age range. I think it was 10 to 17.
Yes,
You said,
yes.
aren't those big words for 10 to 17-year-olds? What's the plan to break it down for them? What does civic literacy and youth leadership look like for that age bracket?
So I've worked with youth a lot, and I tend to avoid underestimating their capacity. We tend to think 10 is young. What do they understand about politics?
Right.
But I feel like we live in such a digital world where they have access to information at their fingertips.
Right.
They know a lot, but in terms of what they know, what are we teaching them? And can they use that knowledge that they have for the good? So they could have that information, and it's maybe putting them in a negative light, or making them see themselves in a negative light. But then when you go in and kind of like make them understand this information that you've read or you've seen, or if there's a gap somewhere, we're here to kind of like make sure you understand everything. So 10 is not too young.
Right.
They know, and you'd be surprised how much a 10-year-old knows.
Thank you for
nowadays.
pointing that out, because you're right. They're on their devices, you
Yeah.
know, a lot. So it sounds like this is an initiative to interject,
Yes.
you know, and make sure that there is an interpretation for them
Of what they know.
you know, between
Yeah.
what they see,
Yes.
you know, on there and what we want. So this program is supposed to run over a 6-month period between February and August. Could you walk us through that journey of what will take place from the point of recruitment to graduation?
So we're going to be starting registration in February
This month.
this
Yes.
month. Yeah, we're
It is
starting-
upon us.
Yes.
We're going to start this month.
Okay.
They're going to have a camp in March.
'Kay.
And, you know, every month there'll be something they're doing
Okay.
before they graduate in August.
Okay.
And I think around August, they're going to have, you know, 1-day opportunity to be in the Legislative House.
Heard about
They're going to
that.
have a mock sitting in the
Wow.
Legislative House, and that will be part of, you know, their graduation. So it's something that's going to take, you know, the knowledge is going to be built gradually. You know, build their confidence and build them for success. So it's going to run from March till August. That's a 6-month period.
Right. So hands-on training, I like that. The experience, you know, that they'll get. You mentioned the leadership camp in March. That sounds rather intense. Civil rights history, maybe government systems.
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot. Why start with this foundation, would you say? Why would you think that one would need to go through things like advocacy and elections and all that? Why start from there? What are the thoughts behind that?
I think for you to start something, there needs to be a foundation. And the foundation for them to be engaged, whether now or in the future, starts now when their minds are sponges, if that makes sense, and they're
Okay.
able to take in that information
Yeah.
and have the right supports as well. So, as you know, we do not, Black youth come from different backgrounds as well, different roots.
Yeah.
But sometimes those roots also intersect.
Yes.
And they bring everyone together. So we want to make sure that everyone stands at the same foundation. For example, if we're talking about civil rights education,
Yes.
we're talking African Nova Scotian history and like the global context.
Right.
So some may know the African Nova Scotian history, and some may come from a global context, but we're trying to put all those together
Right.
to say, although we come from different backgrounds, what is our foundational knowledge and what can we take moving forward so that we're moving together
Right.
and we're not leaving anyone behind. So we feel this is a good foundation. And just to make it clear, this is targeting 55 youth from, as we say, the Black community across
Okay.
HRM. So that is a lot of space.
Yes.
But also a very good foundation. We're not starting with 10, we're starting with 55.
Yes.
Whether those 55 get to the end is
Another
a question
thing
for the
entirely.
future.
Yeah,
But
okay.
we hope this at least gives them the confidence to actually engage and be a part of the civic life.
Okay.
And just to, as you mentioned, the march break is going to be very important because they will have an opportunity to engage like the councillors or people from like the city. They'll have an opportunity to engage with elected members of the legislature or maybe their MLAs.
Okay.
There's like no limit to what they'll be able to discuss.
So in a sense, they'll be able to dictate the pace to some extent with the way how they engage.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll have the supports
Okay.
throughout.
But it won't all be intense because I can see that there's supposed to be some creative expression as well, poetry, art, media.
Yes.
Why
And
is
that's meant to-
storytelling important there for civic leadership? What makes what makes the storytelling portion of it important?
So, like we sell a lot of things through media, through storytelling. And, some of these narratives, yes, some of those things happened. And some of them come to these kids, to these youth as limiting factors. So we want them to see what the global reality is. We want them to see what the policies are here. We want them to know what their civic rights are here. So that, they juxtapose with what they've known before.
Yeah,
and
what they're used to, the arts.
Exactly. And they pick the right one. They need to understand, yes, where we're coming from, where the world is now, and how they can utilize what they are being taught today, in their future. Now, some of the stories they've heard in the past could have been, you cannot do it because you're black. You shouldn't be there because you're black. Or you shouldn't aspire for that position because you are black, or for a leadership position because you are black. But one of the things we'll be doing at that camp is, trying to make them to unlearn and relearn and to rewire their minds, which is very, very important for anybody. So for them as youth, like you said, their minds are still like sponge. They have, room to take in a lot, of things. So we're going to be using those avenues, the media, the arts, and the storytelling to actually, change some of the narratives they believed about themselves and about, Nova Scotia, about Canada, and about the globe as a whole, in their minds.
Okay, and you already mentioned to us that there's going to be a lot of exposure to city officials, MLAs, and other policymakers within the system. So there's also the summer leadership residency with peer-led projects. So they're going to lead themselves on some projects. That sounds exciting. What kind of issues do you hope they'll tackle on those projects?
It's up to them. Honestly, we do not want to detect to them what they should learn about. They should bring to us what they want to know about, what is of interest to them. As an example, it could be youth mental health. It could be just community engagement.
Right.
It could be black racism that they're experiencing.
That's really interesting to me, the fact that this portion of it will be youth-led. So it's kind of a solution for the youth by the youth.
Yes.
Because no one understands their issues like that.
Community-led, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and also media portrayal. And I like how Yinka here explained the part about why it's important for them to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Because I will speak from my perspectives, like growing up as a youth. Our textbooks at school were not written for us. They were written about us, but not in our context. And we hope this is an opportunity for them to have their voices heard. It would be great to have someone go through this program and then decide to go into media, because you now understand that we need to tell our stories in our voices. And that is the importance of having this basic Black civic engagement, because you want to learn what it's like to be excluded, what it is like to be underrepresented, because a lot of us are blinded by that. We don't recognize it. But when we do recognize it, how do we tackle it? How do we talk about it? How do we discuss? How do we advocate for ourselves and for our communities? And this is the whole point of this program, that it empowers Black voices to speak up for themselves. And for me, it's not just in the future, it's the now. while they have a voice.
Right here, right now.
Exactly, because the now is what builds the tomorrow.
Okay, so
that's-
the Black Civic Voices initiative,
Yeah.
well, this project aligns with the HRM's anti-racism
Yes.
action plan.
Yes.
How does the youth leadership program connect to fighting systemic racism? How will this program feed into that anti-racism plan?
Okay, thank you. It takes knowledge to be able to know what are your rights and your responsibilities. It's when you have knowledge, when you know what belongs to you, then you know how to take it. But if you don't know it, then you don't even know when something that is yours is being taken from you. So, like we had said earlier on, some of these things will be exposed to them. They're going to be taught about their civic rights and responsibilities. What are the things, that as citizens, as maybe permanent residents, or as people that are just immigrants, that are their rights and are their responsibilities. So even when someone is being racial to them, they can identify it
Right.
after this program.
By the
Because-
education and the information.
Yeah, I've heard people tell me, for example, you speak very good English. It's an insult. But if I didn't, know that it was an insult, I would have taken it as a compliment. But it's not a compliment, because in your mind, what it tells me that you were thinking that I come from maybe from the bush, where I wasn't, taught in English. So when people tell me that, I know how to respond. And same thing goes, for some of our youths. They might not know
Right.
that particular sentence is not a compliment, is an insult. So, but by going through this camp, going through this training, they will know that, look, these are the things that are my rights. These are the things that are my responsibilities. If you say this to me, then I have a depth knowledge of it. I know how to respond to you. You're not, you're not better than me in any way. Your color doesn't make you better. We're all human. And as long as I live here, I pay taxes.
Right.
I have rights to the same thing that you have rights to. I have my own responsibility, just like you have your responsibility.
Right.
And you shouldn't speak to me in a condescending or demeaning way. So those are the things that we're going to be bringing to fore for this youth.
So they understand.
Yeah.
Now, is there a particular personality type that is preferred in this program, or are all youth welcome? Do they already have to be an outspoken person on a leadership journey? Is there a preference to applicants?
No. All youth
Okay, all are welcome.
are welcome. And we recognize that most times when programs like this come up, people think we're looking for youth leaders in schools, people are active in the community. You might not be right now, but you're thinking about it, but you just don't know how to do it. So this is an opportunity to do something outside of your comfort zone. And we have 55 spots. So that's a lot of spots, and they're across HRM.
Yeah.
And we encourage parents, if you're a parent or you're a sister or a cousin, and you know a youth in your community that you think might benefit from this, or is already engaged and needs more, my friend likes to say, more oomph.
More oomph. I agree.
This is the program to bring them to.
This will be a good time for us to find out how an interested youth may apply. How does a youth engagement apply for this program? Where can they go for information?
So we're going to bring out the registration links.
Okay.
We share them across platforms
Okay.
where we know that the youths that we're targeting will see, the parents will see them.
Okay.
And they'll just, apply on all, and with time we tell them the people we're picking, and we send them messages. They know that, okay, you have picked my child, and we'll tell them the next thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
For
just-
yes, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just to add on, just to mention that this project is so important for historically marginalized and excluded groups. It could be communities in Preston, it could be in Spryfield, it could be in Fairview, Clayton Park, those communities that normally you wouldn't expect youth to come out and participate in. it's very important for them to come out and actually do this. So one of the other ways and means that we want to make sure that this is accessible, because not everyone has an internet access or has a parent who's able to do that. We will also be able to send this information straight to the schools. That way they are shared with everybody. We probably will share this with the councillors, with the MLAs, with some community groups that already work with youth, and some community centers, just to make sure that everyone who needs to get this message
Gets
is
it, and
actually
underserved
Yes.
communities are not left out, right?
Yes.
So if there's any youth that's watching us right now, what is your message as Black Civic Voices to them? What would you say to them?
There's no limit for you except the one you have set for yourself. In any sphere of life, whether be it in media, in arts, in science, in education, in politics, in any sector, there is no limit except the one you have set for yourself. And the first place is your mind. One book says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So it's whatever you think that becomes you. So if you think that, look, I desire to get to, the pinnacle of leadership in life, and you work towards this, it becomes, you achieve it, you get it, you can get there. But if you think I cannot do it, it's meant for some special people, then that's what you get. So we know and we believe that whatever you aspire to become in life, as you aspire it, you work towards it, and it's just a matter of time you see yourself there. Thank you.
Someone said to me once, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're also right.
Yeah.
So it's all in the mindset. That's very, very strong words there. In another 5 years or in another decade, how do you see this program shaping and impacting and transforming community? Because those young people who are 17 will be 27, in a decade. What do you envision for that, for a decade from now? What do you think we'll be seeing as a result of this program?
I envision Black youth with a voice. They may not be seen, but they are able to speak up for themselves wherever they are. They are change makers. They are making an impact within their communities, within their families. Because we are going to have civic leaders participate.
Right.
It will be great to see some of those either working in the same or driving to
Coming
be
into
in
those
this-
shoes.
coming
into
into
those shoes.
to fill in those shoes, which is why it's important to tap into those minds
Right.
now to actually prepare and lay a foundation for the future. Because once they see themselves and can envision themselves in those places or in those shoes, in those boardrooms, they would want to be there as well.
Right,
So
right.
that's what I think is where I see our young people in the future.
Are there any decision makers or partners that are coming alongside leading leaders for this initiative?
Yeah. Along the, during the program, we're going to be bringing provincial officials.
Okay.
We're going to be bringing possibly councillors and, municipal officials, to possibly MLAs
Yeah.
to, come in and,
So the government is in partnership,
Yes.
in some form, right?
In some form.
Yeah,
program.
in some form. Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to mention this because a lot of you, not just youth, a lot of adults do not understand how the government works, nor do they know the levels of government. And this is such an important piece when we're bringing in different parts of government, because now you understand, there's municipal government, there's provincial,
Right.
and then there's federal.
Enlightenment
And then you
about
start to understand what issues each of those branches of government actually deal with. And when you know how they say knowledge is power,
Yes.
you're better able to advocate and go in and say, well, our garbage wasn't picked this week, so who do I go to? You know who to go to.
Yeah.
And well, our school doesn't have a good lunch. You know who to go to. Maybe it could be your MLA. So once you understand and are informed and understand how all those different parts interact,
You know,
you're
the
able
path to solution.
Exactly. So that's why we're bringing all the different forms. It could be community leaders, it could be municipal, it could be provincial. I don't know if we'll have federal, but by bringing all those different parts together, they are not able, they don't limit themselves,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. It all sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us at the studio today, Talent and Yinka. This has been an awesome conversation. This conversation isn't just about a program. It is about the future of our communities.
Yes.
So as you've heard, get your young people involved. For as many as would like to connect to this program, get them notified, and let's take advantage of the 55 spots that are available as soon as possible. Thank you for watching Community Update. My name is Modele Akintokun, and as always, let's keep building our communities together. See you soon.